Yes. He ain't got to be introduced. This is Berney Flowers, everybody. Hey, Berney.
Lucretia, you are wild.
Happy
I've been watching.
Liberation.
Yeah, I'm always watching you. So anyway, y'all keep me laughing, you and Dave. By the way, happy birthday, Dave.
Thank you, sir.
You
What
are
you
very
mean?
welcome.
Well, it's almost over, Bernie. It's almost over. 3 years, 3.5 years, a bullshniggity with a land investment company, and then we got on to AAG. We just want our house, Bernie. We don't want nothing else. But you know what? If we could get these lawyers' fees back, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Our government is not working on our behalf. You got way too many shysters in there taking advantage of people. And most people like you guys pay your taxes, do your thing you're supposed to do, paying your business. And you're not over here worrying about the government. The next thing you know, you come up with some craziness that they start trying to steal your property. It's a shame. And it happens to people all over the South, specifically. There's millions of properties that have been confiscated when nobody was paying attention. I mean, but me and my 13 first cousins, we have some property in North Carolina going through the same thing. And, they hope that you just will forget about it and not get legal address and that you won't be able to get along. And next thing you know, the government's taking over your property and somebody that you probably wouldn't approve of is making money off of it.
Absolutely. Speaking of people making money off of it, what was with Cory Booker? I mean, 24 hours, and then his assistant get caught with a loaded gun in the Capitol.
Cory Booker is somebody I have always despised. I think very lowly of him. And every time I pass through New Jersey, I think, what a jackwagon. This guy is, he's a profiteer. He is a charlatan. I don't know why anybody keeps voting for him. They know his name, and I guess they keep pushing his name or whatever. But the issue of the day is one day he'll get his, and I hope it can't be soon enough. He's probably been taking money from George Soros the whole dang on time, but that's another story for another time.
Look, Bernie didn't say this, but I'm gonna tell you, some way stations, bathrooms, you just don't want to go into because people got some touchy feely hands. I mean, allegedly.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
He spoke for everything against America. He wants to. Him and Chuck Schumer has proposed something to bring the hoodlums and the MS-13s and the gangs and the thugs and the criminals back to America. How are they advocating more for these hoodlums than they are for American citizens?
Well, here's the thing. I'm just happy for people like you that put the word out because most people are busy. They're working, they're taking care of their kids, they're minding their business. And most of them don't want to watch CNN. If you notice, the ratings are so down. So, people will tune you in and like, hey, Lucretia's making me laugh and she's also educating me at the same time. And the thing is that the Cory Bookers and the Chuck Schumers of the world and the Nancy Pelosi's, they are America last people. They're not America first people. So I'm glad that this is all coming out, and I'm just having fun watching the whole thing. Just saw President Trump on TV, and I'm all in a good mood.
Okay, wait a minute. You ain't gonna be in a good mood what I'm about to say. Listen, ladies, listen. Our founding fathers did not create all of our infrastructures for you to have a baby and then say, I got to stay out of work and then make a bitch about it. Ma'am, no, 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 no. Some things that I can't stand, and this is one of them. You know what? You take your maternity leave, but what they got to do with the rest of the Republicans?
I don't understand that. I shudder to jump into that because I'm pretty conservative, and I've got a family. My family's traditional. This idea of getting something for free, no, I'm not really feeling that. We all got to put in our fair share.
Well, I don't. If she has maternity leave, take your maternity leave.
Yeah.
Period. You didn't have to make a big stink yesterday. I gotta come back and here's my baby as a prop. Why would you do that? Why would you bring your child, unless you visiting and being sworn in, and you just got to have your family? But for you to have that up there, she acted and she paraded yesterday like a Democrat. You didn't have to do that. You did not have to do that. And you could have stayed home, just made an absent vote. But you made it a point to get on the House floor and do all that, and Luna's in the background saying, "Yeah, girl, women, we need our." I'm sitting here like, then go take your ass home and let the
Was it
business of
the end of
America.
International Women's Month or something? Whatever she, I don't know. I'm speculating on things I shouldn't talk about. Somebody's gonna call me a toxic masculine person. So,
Well,
you
let
know,
me talk about it because I'm a grandmother and a mother that had 4 C-sections and still had to get up and cook and clean and go to work before that C-section was actually closed up. So let me talk about it. So if I want my country to work as usual, if you're getting paid to stay home on maternity leave, you didn't have to make a big stink. Go ahead and jump over there with Jasmine Crockett if you're gonna sit there and hold that. That I don't like. Some things I don't like. And for that to be
I get it.
displayed out there, and now you on a you're taking off for 4 days. You excuse you for what? Why is everybody else taking off? Did you have a sir? Did you have a baby, ma'am Luna? Did you have a baby? So what are y'all needing 4 days off? Maybe she should have that time off. Vote absent, and then let the rest of Congress actually get back to the work of the people.
You gonna have to take the lead on this because I will never have a baby and all that sort of stuff. All I know is that maternity leave is provided for people to do the things that they need to do and then go back to work. I think that's fair, but other people just throwing this into people's faces, it's not cool. So,
So
but
you're
anyway,
wondering why Republicans lose on a consistent basis. Speaking of losing, Wisconsin and the George
oh Lord.
Soros billionaire pumped in money for that race, one of the most expensive judgeship races in the United States history, of $100 million flowing into Wisconsin.
George Soros and his band of idiots know that they can't win. So how do they do this? They control judges, they control district attorneys, they control the court system. And that's what's been going on in the last 4 or 5 years. They have been, using the judiciary to take advantage of people, and most folks don't get that deep into it because most folks don't even vote, to tell you the truth. But the issue of the day is they realize that they're on the losing end of the game, and so their last resort of a scoundrel is to go to the judicial system. And this woman, if I'm not mistaken, she is about as liberal as it gets. She's very,
Mm-hmm.
very unpopular, but they support her, and I'm hoping that there will be some investigations. I know Elon Musk at some point has to go back to his many, many companies and get work done there. But let's take Doge and go see where all those millions of dollars came from, because I gotta believe that there's some crookery going on in that
Wait a
system in Wisconsin.
minute. Wisconsin has dominion.
They do. Imagine that.
Wisconsin was one of the toss-up states, or during the 2020 election.
Imagine that.
Wisconsin was having problems with their election in 2020. So this is one of those states that we know they call a toss-up state, or
Yeah.
yeah. So that's Wisconsin.
Well, like I said, I know some people from Wisconsin. They seem to be very nice people, but politically, I don't know why they're so liberal up there. But there has to be some explanation for this because from what I can see, I think they're normal people, but they just vote so liberally. Same thing with Minnesota. Something weird is going on up there, and I don't like it.
What, Minnesota?
Minnesota, Keith Ellison, the rest of those crew. I mean, where do they bring all those Somalis? I
Say
shouldn't say
it.
stuff like
Dude, you
that.
better say it because you got Ileana Omar. If she's up there spouting her faith in, her own country, Somalia, she put Somalia first, even though she swore an oath to the United States, Constitution. You said it right. You need
Well,
to
she
look
swore
at
an oath to
that.
her brother that she married to get here. So,
Well, at least she
bottom
didn't
line is
marry
somebody
her
needs to
daddy.
investigate all these fools.
At least she didn't marry her daddy.
Don't put it past her.
What Leticia James just happened to when she wanted to get a loan for a house, that she was actually married to her own father.
Boy, I tell you, all the dirt's coming out. Spilling all the tea tonight, aren't you?
Well, she spilled that tea because I would never. How you do that? They'd be like, "Hey, we need to get you a loan. So can you write right here that you my wife? I'm your daughter." Now I remember because it's known in the black community. I don't care what nobody got to say. That's colorism. You being racist. I'm black. I understand you putting your child name on the light bill, but dang, you gonna get a house and didn't say you're married.
Look, let's just face it. First of all, everybody is a racist to some point. Okay. So once you recognize that, then you can move forward. But this concept of calling everybody racist, everybody can't be a racist. Otherwise,
Ooh.
this country would not function.
Speaking of a racist, Jasmine us the damn Crockett.
Oh, Lord, don't bring that crazy woman up.
And then
Come on
gonna
now.
talk
You know, I
about
was in a good mood
well, if they always bringing it up on my show, and then gonna
with
say,
her ghetto ass.
looking
Nah,
at
yeah, I said
damn,
it.
yeah, talking about Byron Donald married to a white woman. Look at all the heifers y'all married to.
If I'm not mistaken, Kamala Harris is married to a white Jewish man. Am I wrong?
Don Kool-Aid Lemon said what?
Don't. You just know how to push my button, don't you?
Well, they like to smack us with fair, just falsities. But theirs is 100 bona fide for all of these people that scream racism all the time. Whoopi Goldberg, all the rest of them. Majority of their spouses are white. Isn't it like a
Yeah.
kick in the throat?
I remember when Whoopi Goldberg was with Ted Danson and they were running around here and Ted Danson was wearing blackface. You old enough to remember that?
I'm 50.
Married to Whoopi.
All right, we'll cut you some slack.
Why
But
he
yes,
was
I
married to
remember
Whoopi?
that.
Why
And
he was
but
married to
oh,
Whoopi?
it's not a
Yeah,
problem if they do it. What about what's his name, old boy? Remember the Pierre Trudeau, whatever his name is, the former Canadian Prime Minister got caught with blackface on, as you remember.
more than once.
These people are the biggest hypocrites in the world, and
Wait
Jasmine
a minute.
Crockett is the worst of them. Matter of
Prince
fact,
Harry.
she went to a private school.
Prince Harry too. For her to be a ratchet ass, ghetto ass, or sexy red ass, acting ass, and she went to private school. She wanted to be
How
on the
dare.
other side of the track so bad. I could see her on her gated community porch, looking at all the people in the projects and in the ghetto, wishing she could be like them. Her parents have paid thousand dollars to make sure her hair is flattened and straight, got that good hair, and now she acted back ratchet. I mean, if she have a campaign event and Sexy Red happened to be the one twerking on stage, I'd be like, "Gone, girl. At least you know your crowd."
Jasmine Crockett is a gated community gangster. That's what we used to call him down in Texas. Talk all this bullshit. She is about as soft as a grape.
Oh, so she basically like a barking chihuahua, and when it was time to run up, she would stay in the car and just
That's that's her. That's her. Ain't got no backbone at all. And like I said, to talk trash about people when she's just as guilty, she ought to be ashamed of herself. But the issue of the day is she talks all this noise and she's backed up by CNN and all these liberal media. Have you looked at the ratings for CNN lately?
Well, what did they call it? What did Jamal Bryant call y'all that went up to the White House? Runaway slaves. Her?
Well, if
She's
I'm a
still,
runaway slave,
she
then he's
just
still on the
no.
plantation.
You got to think about it. She is the plantation. So
Mm.
she is doing exactly what Massa, the ones that she always say, y'all acting for the Massa. Ma'am, you taking your marching orders. You still on that plantation with the masters that actually represented
There
the
you go.
KKK. So do you even know your damn history?
She is out of control and she is a clown. She is a caricature. She is, she might as well be Pennywise from the movies. She is an embarrassment to black people. And yeah, I
Wait
said it.
now, because they said AOC for president, Jasmine Crockett for vice president. This is going to be the ticket that shatters the glass ceiling. I said, them
I
shards
wish
gonna
they
come.
would. That would be so easy. Come on now.
It's better than
Real.
Kamala. They tried to say Kamala is the best candidate for 20. Y'all still gonna pull that? Because the last time she was drunk was yesterday. I mean, she said we still gotta. She said we still gotta keep fighting. Who was she talking to? Cory Booker. We gotta keep fighting, and she was slurring her words. It's just like JD Vance said. At least I don't have to take 4 shots of vodka before every meeting.
You know something funny? I don't know if we've ever talked about this,
What's up?
but have you ever noticed that all these, well, not all of them, but a lot of these people that they call African Americans, they push for it as like Cory Booker and Obama and Kamala, they're not American descendants of slaves.
You can't blur the
I,
lines. Stop it. You're talking too much. You see that black woman right back there? That's my history. She came from the
uh-oh.
slave plantation. Now, when it comes to Barack Obama, I wish y'all, he's the true definition of an African American. His dad was what? African.
African.
His mama was what? A white woman that was
I'm,
kin to the Bush clan. He was pretty
well,
much raised in Indonesia under communist education, and then he decided to come over here in his what, 1819. You don't know what a black man goes through in America for you even to want to pop your lip to even think you got something to say. But this is
no
what I've been
idea
saying.
whatsoever. His people didn't grow up cropping tobacco. They weren't picking cotton. They weren't doing any of those sorts of things that my ancestors did. And my issue is, why is it the leaders of the Democratic Party always seem to choose somebody like that for leadership?
You remember what Joe Biden said? He's smooth talking, colored guy, young man, or whatever boy. He called him
Yeah, he's
smooth.
just clean. Yeah,
Yes,
like
the
we ain't
boy.
clean.
Because normally, he'll be giving us some coffee or something. I'm sitting here like, did they?
What a hot mess.
And he said this. But what gets to me and what really made me fall off is goddamn America. What?
Woo.
What? He's sitting in that church. It's just like,
Yeah.
hey, ushers, close the doors. I need to raise $100,000, and ain't nobody leaving until we raise this $100,000. I said, usher, I will clothesline you. You can either get kicked in the shin or clothesline, but you ain't never gonna make it. Would have been right up out that church, honey. Marvin Sapp, and that I said, what happened to the pastors?
You know, that's embarrassing. Now, not only is it embarrassing, I mean, doggone, I mean, the black community, come on, y'all. How stupid can you be? I mean, I got several Bibles over there. I got a copy of the Quran. I got a copy of this, that, all kinds of religious books that I study when I get a chance. But how can you think that Jesus would lock your door and shake you down like some kind of criminal, like some kind of gangster, you know? And we fall for this?
Well, the last
Why
time
don't
I
we read our
remember,
book?
when they tried to do that at a church or a synagogue, he flipped over tables and picked up a whip. And I
There
sat
you
there
go.
and emptied his pocket because, somebody in our pulpit told him to, and I wish a usher would. I wish Mama Usher of the usher board would try that. You know what? We over it.
I would have decked whomever stood my way. I would have decked him. I probably would have decked the preacher, but I'm just like that. But this guy is out of control and gives the black community, specifically the black church, a bad name. I mean, look at all the little old ladies that go to church and give their last dollar. My grandmother was like that. My mother was like that. Will, almost break the family to give the last dollar to the preacher. And you're gonna desecrate that action like that? Really?
I made meme out of it. I made a meme because I'm like, dude, I made a meme. I'm not taking this for real. I wouldn't. Number one, as much as black churches take up offerings for a doorknob, you should have had that $40,000 a long time ago. What? Am I
And the thing is, most black churches, especially AME, let's just face it, they get you up, and you got to walk up to the preacher to drop your money off.
3 times. You get 3 times the service. Stop playing. 3
Well,
times the service. You get that offering plate, or you got to get up and actually hand your offering. So we're not going to play. And you're supposed to be cheerful. But if I got to not pay my light bill, I'm going to be pissy.
This is the age of PayPal. People don't walk around with
He did
$50
say
in their
that.
pocket and hand to the preacher.
He did say that. He said, I want to see everybody get up, and if you doing it digitally, you tap they got something where you tap your offering into the plate. This sounds so much like I'm gonna say the one that died that thought he was Goliath, but he was just happened to be taking a whole bunch of sex trips to Africa with little young boys. I mean, New Birth Baptist Church. Whoa, Jamal Bryant is the pastor. No wonder it ain't recovered. We're just gonna. That's just so sad.
Well, there's one good thing about that.
What?
Okay?
What?
Because he's down there with you and not up here in Baltimore creating havoc.
Sharon
running
said,
through strippers.
listen, Sharon said, talk about the tariffs. What tariffs? We've been paying them out the ass for the last 2 decades, and now everybody interested in tariffs. Come on
Longer than
now.
that.
Like, seriously, y'all ain't said diddly squat of us being taxed almost between 110% to 200% in any given country. But now that people have been mentioning tariffs for the last week, everybody want to be interested in tariffs.
I look at it like this. If you look at that Bible, it says an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
Do you want to
So
tell
here
these
it is.
people?
I have spent, many years overseas. I lived in Germany 3 years, probably altogether 5 years. In Europe, been all over, whatever. And everywhere I go, you see a whole lot of, foreign vehicles, foreign this, foreign that, but you don't see any American cars.
No. Then you got to
All
go
right.
back to the 80s. So for everybody bitching and complaining about tariffs, it started in the 80s with "We
Mm.
are the world, are the world, we are the children, are the children." They ripped you off. I hope you know that
Yep.
during the 80s when they started that import export like that, and nobody's gonna
Hmm.
starve in the world. That is when we really started getting hit more and more with triple digit tariffs and taxes on our wares and goods. So what happened since the 80s? All of these companies have been slow walking their tails out of America, and now people wait until the year 2025 and interested in it. Are you kidding me? You're forgetting Walmart when it used to be made in the USA. It was
I remember.
nobody was bitching then, and now that it's Liberation Day, everybody want to know about tariffs.
We have been suffering from globalization brought on by Bill Clinton, and it's been going on ever since then. And bottom line is giving away our future. I remember when I grew up, everybody worked at a mill. My parents, my dad worked at a mill. My mother was able to stay at
Ours
home,
too.
but they were able to educate their kids, and some of them actually went to college. And a lot of people were able to buy a new car every once in a while, get that nice little brick house out in the country. Life was good.
Yep.
And the Democrats sold that life away.
And then think
And I
about
will
it.
never forgive them.
Don't go off anything me and Berney is saying. President Trump is the president of the United States. Go back to Barbara Walters of the 1980s when she did a television interview with him, and she asked him, "What gets you up? What makes you want to fight?" He said they've been ripping us off with tariffs. He said that
Yeah,
in the
I remember
80s.
that interview.
So now we
Yes.
all interested in 2025 when he sat there and said, "When I feel like America is on its last leg is when I will run for the president of the United States." He been trying to hit them with tariffs, raise our tariffs, make sure that they're getting taxed just like they're taxing us. And now that he's making it happen, it's the worst thing since sliced bread, and everybody interested in it. Why are you interested in it now? Nobody was interested in the 80s or the 90s or the 2000, 2010, the stock market crashing, the housing bubble crashing, Enron pissing away everything, Ford pissing away everything, all of our steel industries leaving, car industries leaving, our agriculture leaving, our medical stuff leaving. Why now everybody interested in it? Because he wants to bring it back. And he wants them to pay more.
Because all those people that are responsible, the George Soroses and the Bill Clintons and all those people that were at Epstein Island, they're getting their money cut back. They ain't getting all that free money anymore. Their scam has been their scam has been enlightened. Everybody sees what's going on, and now they're trying to stop it from happening. But this is inevitable. Doge is bringing all that stuff out, and the issue of the day is that I'm so happy that Mr. Trump is actually fulfilling his promises. He said he was going to do this.
Absolutely.
And folks can get mad, sad, whatever. It's done. It's done. He's making it go.
I'm loving it. Listen, because it's on President Trump page, or it's a group that actually follows President Trump, and I follow them. Anything you could go to. That's why I said, if you got X, get off Facebook and go get your information from the real media. X. You could go straight to the horse's mouth. You want to know about Elon? He tweets 50 times
Constantly.
a day. You want to know about Pam Bundy and Doge, and you want to
All
know
of it.
about Department of Agriculture, Department of Education. They got their own Twitter pages. You could go directly to them. Listen, these tariffs, you want to know, China, they charge us 67% on some things, and we only charge them 34%.
Not cool.
Not cool at all. How about evening that up? Say uncle, okay?
Yes. Yeah,
Vietnam.
it should be fair.
Vietnam. What the hell are we getting from Vietnam? That's what I want to know. But 90% On everything shipped in America, 90% tariff on it. Guess how much we charge them? 46%.
Unfair. And all Trump is doing is making things fair. The bottom line, you charge us 20%, we charge you 20%, it's all good. But like you said, if Vietnam's charging us 200% and we're charging them 20%, that's not an eye
That's
for an
not
eye and
that's
a tooth for a
thank
tooth.
you. That's not fair for us. United Kingdom. Look. The only Cambodia. Now I've heard of Cambodian ass scratchers, okay, back scratchers, okay, yeah. But why in the world is Cambodia charging the United States 97% tariff?
What do we need
all
from
this
Cambodia?
year. Guess how much we charge them? 49%.
Totally unfair. We don't need them anyway. To tell you the truth, we have everything in this country that we need. The issue of the day is that the reason those tariffs are so high is because the people at the top of the food chain, specifically Democrats, they run these big companies and they want an advantage and they can get their materials cheaper from over there if the federal government and the rest of the people are paying the price. And we're just sitting around going about our business, you know, raising our kids and taking them to school and doing all the things and not realizing we're being ripped off, just like Mr. Trump said. So I say go get them. Go
Some of
get
the
them.
stuff that Canada and that pissy government up there, 210% on some particular things. We don't even charge them 100%. How is this ass backwards and everybody mad at Trump? Because he won't raise.
What's worse is he's found them out. And here's the deal. Remember, fentanyl's been coming through that Canadian border. Fentanyl's been coming through that Mexican border. So the least they could do is they're going to overcharge us, at least secure the border. Don't send all your derelicts and whatever's over here to get free stuff. And don't get me started, because you
And
know I
don't
got a problem
threaten
with all
us.
that illegal
Don't
immigration.
threaten us. So this Canadian, the one that just took Trudeau place, talking about they're gonna make America feel the pain and then take some
Bring it.
electricity. Bring it then, cause y'all getting more stuff from us.
Look, Trump ain't the dude to play with. You're not dealing with Bill Clinton. You're not dealing with Obama. Nah, Trump don't give a hoot. Okay.
Wait a minute, hold up for anybody watching. You ain't playing with CNN or MSNBC either.
No, not at
Not
all.
by a
So
long
I-
shot.
So I'm just thrilled. I'm sitting here watching that his address, which I watch all his addresses, and I'm just sitting here laughing my tail off because, like I said, all the things that I've seen, they have been totally unfair. And remember, we are protecting most of these places. We've got altogether probably about 800 military bases worldwide, and those bases are there to provide security
You
so
ready?
that
Wait, say
all
that
this
one more time.
transit and traffic can happen. Otherwise, you would have the Somali pirate situation everywhere.
So they taxing us to death, using our
Yep.
military like crazy,
Yep.
getting our weaponry like crazy,
Yep.
and we funding them at the same time. What are we getting?
Nothing.
So
A
why
hard
should
time.
we care? Why should we keep caring about outside of our own international borders when we've been the ATM of the world, but we don't even can't be an ATM for ourselves?
Hey, look, you talk about X, and I'm sitting here looking at this Doge website, everything. The people don't even understand how many folks from that are not American citizens have social security numbers. So they're sitting around here, coming here from I don't know wherever the hell, getting a social security number. Next thing they're on Medicaid. Next thing you know, they are disabled
And
and ain't paid into
voting.
the system
And voting.
and voting.
And now remember, because when Elon Musk and Doge got into there and got in those numbers with those 100-year-olds and up, do you know how people call me the damn liar?
Mm.
Like I'm
Look.
like over 10 to 20 something million people that are over the age of 110 and get in a Medicare, Medicaid, free housing, and voting. People got up mad at me, calling me a liar, like I'm the one that's 360 years old still receiving a check.
You know, the thing that we have to be thankful for is that the American people stepped up and backed Trump. Because here's the thing, if Kamala Harris had gotten in there, nobody would see any of this, and it would be status quo all over
No,
again.
we'd have been arrested by now. They already
She
had
should
the
be-
they already had the narrative. They already had the directive from the Department of Homeland Security that was brought out during Barack Obama. All of us was put on 8 different categories, and I hit all 8 of them. You yourself hit every last uh, category that from veteran to people with single issues to people that always bring up the Constitution to the ones that questions authority or question elections. You was also number 8. So everybody on this page would have been in somebody goulash or been questioned or been audited by 87,000 IRS agents armed.
There you go. The funny thing is, one thing that floats around in my head, they're always calling people Nazis and fascists. But if you look at the young people, they apparently prefer socialism. Well, people need to understand Nazi stands for National Socialist. Okay? This stuff goes back 40 years. They can't beat us militarily, so they attack our infrastructure through information operations,
But if they
psyops.
calling us
We have been
Nazis,
psyoped.
who well they were that was authorized with the NDAA Act of 2012 because it was against the law in the federal law from 1948 to not push propaganda up against American citizens, which means don't lie to them on a
But
national
guess who
platform.
changed it?
I'm gonna say this. No, not Obama, because his cousin Bush Jr. had to give us the Patriot Act first, and then that mailed over to the NDAA Act of 2012, which was the blessings of the Bush clan. Go ahead and give another peppermint to Michelle the next time you see her.
So are you implying that the deep
Yes.
state was all working together?
Not say the Bush clan.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
They
You know,
that's the
don't
deep
let
state.
that R fool you.
Okay then.
Last time I was on here, you were just bringing up Mr. Prescott Bush and the fact that he was dealing with the Nazis back in the
when
day.
I think about the deep state, I'm thinking about unelected bureaucrats. He was just straight up in your face, got a shoe to the head, and sat there during 9/11 trying to read the black kids. So I'm just trying, they had to put him at the right place at the right time. Plausible deniability.
hmm
So that's him and his daddy, even though his daddy dead, still during the funeral, those white envelopes had to tell him, yo, they know everything. My bad.
How is it that both him and what's that jackwagon married to the Heinz ketchup lady?
John
John
Kerry.
Kerry. How is it they're in the same fraternity at Yale at the same time?
Stop playing. That's
But
a
one's
skull
a
and the
Democrat and
bones.
one's a Republican.
That's is it skull and bone, bone and skull?
Skull and bones.
Yeah, come on now. That's a secret package, secret society, just like the bloodlines of the president of the United States. We need
The
to
only
stop
one
talking.
that ain't married is not one of them is Trump.
It's Trump.
He's not related to
Wait a
him. The
minute.
rest of them are all far distant cousins.
I think it was like 2 of them that didn't own slaves. Guess which ones that was? Trump didn't. It was just one didn't own slaves. That was Trump.
There you go. Imagine that. So, like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just follow trails.
No, we call it a fact after 6 months. Some gonna come
Oh,
true.
Lordy.
So who you think going to jail first?
Who do I want to go to jail first?
Well, that's there too. Well, who you want to
Fauci.
go? Ooh. Speaking of that, did you see what came out today?
They fired his wife.
Hot diggity dog.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they were in cahoots. We sit around here and think the presidents are doing this and doing that. Fauci was in his position when I graduated from high school in 1983. Look at this gray hair on my head. Okay? Fauci has been manipulating trillions of dollars and poisoning people. Okay? If it weren't for Fauci and his mess, I'd probably still be over DHS, getting a big fat paycheck and be just happy. But no. Now I'm all pissed off because they cheated us. And one thing I can't stand to be is cheated.
And you got to remember, he was the highest paid position in the federal government. He was getting more money than the president of the United States.
He had his Secret Service protection and all that in a bag of chips. But the thing is, you never heard anything about his wife. Okay. Now I got some ties over to NIH and HHS and those sorts of things, and so I hear things. But the bottom line is, she's been working all this time. They should have got rid of her a long time ago because they were all in on it. And I believe he's going to be the first major hit to go to jail, and I can't wait to see it.
I was thinking maybe like Peter Strzok or Mayorkas.
Mayorkas should be number 2, but Fauci has been cheating us for so much longer. And, he's all tied in with Bill Gates. These people have been murdering people all over the world and poisoning our food. And I'm just so happy. I'm looking at, RFK, he has gotten some of the burger chains to go back to, what are
Meat,
the oil,
tallow.
beef tallow,
Yep,
beef tallow. Yeah. So I'm just thrilled to see all this
Why he
happening.
didn't do bacon grease? That's good
Bacon
too.
grease is fine.
So, but you know what they're mad at right now? A lot of people are mad because SNAPs or food stamps will no longer be able to buy sodas.
And that's a bit of a stretch. I ain't gonna be mad at them, but bottom line is that a lot of people have been abusing SNAP for a long time. And I have seen personal, not personal, but I've seen people show me receipts where folks were getting thousands of dollars of benefits that don't deserve them.
Hey,
You
but
know,
hey, if you got like half on a dollar, I need some groceries. Just
some people actually sell them and make money off of them.
I did say
So
I
the
was from
system,
the hood and the woods, of course. I mean, some people got to pay their light bills. It ain't like a food stamp where we had paper food stamps. We go to the corner store, get some candy or some now laters, and then get the cash off of it. It ain't like that no more. Did I tell how
no,
old
no, no,
we
no, no,
were?
no, no. You got people that are trying to be honest in the government, and I like to think that I was one of them. I thought I was a very, very efficient civil servant, and I certainly was an efficient military officer. But all it takes is one or two bad apples to ruin the whole thing. You know,
It's called
and
MLK Boulevard. We got less than a minute left.
oh Lord, we get to talking, and it starts going, and
You
you
know
know
we've
how
been on here for 40 minutes. We talked for 40 minutes.
it feels like five.
This ain't gonna cut off on you. You got less than 59 seconds. Go ahead, Berney.
Well, the bottom line is you ask me who I'd like to see go to jail. I worked with Mayorkas. I'd like to see him go to jail. But Fauci is far bigger of a criminal because he was messing with our health.
Yes.
And you're going to find out that, like, for instance, they've been studying cancer for 80 years. How come it hasn't been solved? There's a whole lot of money to be made in the treatment as opposed to the cure. So,
Amen. If you
hey,
don't go
our,
ahead
our
and tell
healthcare
everybody
system needs
who
to be
you
fixed.
is and everything, it's gonna cut off on you. Go ahead, Bernie. Plug yourself right quick. You got like 20 seconds.
I don't want to plug myself. You just call me back up here and I'll come back when you're ready. All right?
All right, Bernie. Everybody will be right back. Y'all stay tuned. Go ahead.
Y'all be good now.
That was quick, Dave. That was close too. We're gonna cut. Are you a voting member of the NRA? My name is Lucretia Hughes. I will never compromise my beliefs in God, family, our country, and my Second Amendment. I am running for the board of directors of the NRA, and I would appreciate